is race day for the AST Voltson Super Trucks, where for the fourth year in succession, the season will be kicked off at about the last place you'd expect a Midwestern short track series to be racing, the high banks of the 2-mile D-Oval, known as the Michigan International Speedway. And we have a record number of trucks that have shown up to the Irish Hills to attempt the race. 43 teams and drivers made their way to the Speedway yesterday in order to prepare for the two heat races, and after a pair of very exciting 10-lap sprints, the real challenge begins today. 100 miles, 40 trucks, and only one winner at the end of the day. Let's take a look at the starting grid for the feature race. Starting on the outside of the final row is Gordon Davis, who originally failed to qualify, but was given the final starting spot after Bailey Bliss, the 89 truck, was not cleared to start the race due to an injury in the heat. Nick Moss will start on Davis's inside. He has been the slowest truck of the weekend. Hopefully that 74 team has found some speed for the race. Nancy Keith, last year's runner-up, starts all the way back in 38th after crashing in her own heat, and Brianna Princeron starts all the way back in 37th. Larry Kowalczyk on the outside of row 18 with Ben Maddox on his inside, one of the many rookies in this race. Carl Gargalak, who has only ever started this race in the Super Trucks, starts 34th with Daniela Jacobson, who did very well at the start before running into trouble last year on his inside. Jason Miller, the 2015 winner of the race, starts in 32nd. He's got his work cut out for him if he wants to get in number 2 today, with Ronald Way starting on his inside. John White will start on the outside of row 15, continuing his 3-year quest for his first victory in this series, with Camden Rhodes, the Operation JM teammate to Jason Miller, starting in 29th. Chase Eberhardt starts in 28th, after starting on the front row last year, with Samantha Spires in her first visit to the Speedway, starting in 27th. Kevin Thompson starts from 26th with Canadian rookie Kevin Irvine to his inside, and it's an all-Midwest Motors row 12 with Alex DeFranco on the outside and rookie Alex Raston making his first start in the series on the inside. Joel Rodriguez's sister Natasha Rodriguez will start from the 22nd position in her first start in the series, and Amy Robinson, the Nelson Ledges specialist, will be making her first start on an oval in the series in a third car for the Binford Racing Team. Rounding out the top 20 is Kathy Gargalak in truck number 30, and on her inside is Brian Kelly, who finished third in last year's race. Honoko Kurosawa of Japan starts from 18th spot in the EF5 Motorsports truck, with Amberly Weiss, who did very well in this race last year, starting from 17th. Adam Ramirez returns for a full season effort with Jinx Racing Development in their new second truck, with Jeffrey Jackson starting from 15th on Ramirez's inside. Daryl Quick, the 2014 winner of the race and the 3-time defending series champion, will start from the outside of row 7, with Tiffany Rogers, the rookie, on his inside. Wilson Timothy, the highest qualifying of the Binford Racing Team trucks, is in 12th, with Zach Churchill starting from 11th. Last year's pole sitter Michael McKinley will start the race from the 10th position, and Jenny Jackson, the only female driver to have won a race in the series, will start from his inside. Rookie Scott Madigan will start from the 8th position, with your defending winner of the Saar Nebraska 100, John Bennett, starting from 7th. Legend Hart, after nearly winning Heat 2, will start from 6th, and Rachel Kowalczyk, the Heat 1 winner, will round out the top 5. Grant Edwards, after pulling off a fantastic maneuver to score the victory in Heat 2, will start from 4th position in his first race in the series, with Mary Brousseau still searching for her first victory, starting from 3rd. On the outside of the front row is Archer Helms, the Kentucky driver, making his first start at MIS, and on the pole position is hometown hero Ron Anderson in the 333 Lycoia. Anderson, who resides in the small town of Onstead right down the road from the Speedway, doesn't show up to too many races in the Voltson Super Trucks, but is very fast whenever he does, looking to put on a show for the hometown crowd here today. As the field rounds turn 4 on their final pace lap, the pace truck pulls off into the pits, 20 rows of 2, ready to go racing for 100 miles at Michigan International Speedway. Let's get the new season underway. The green flag waves, and we are racing at MIS. Ron Anderson gets the early jump at Archer Helms on the start and clears him for the lead before they get into turn number 1. As Helms is having a bit of trouble getting up through the gears, it seems Mary Brousseau is going to take over 2nd place, with Rachel Kowalczyk moving through into 3rd. Your top 3 starters on the inside line have moved up into the top 3 spots, and Helms gets out of shape off the corner. He's going to keep it together, though, and keep it going down the backstretch, as Anderson leads the field into turn number 3. Taking another look at what happened at the 153 off of turn number 2, he's going to get a little bit of help from Grant Edwards in the 79, who turns him down into John Bennett. Some good car control from both parties prevents what could have been a big first lap accident, and we continue on with no further problems. Ron Anderson leads at the end of the first lap of the season, but he's already got a challenge for the top spot from Heat 1 winner Rachel Kowalczyk. She goes to the inside, but Anderson uses the momentum of the high line to hold on to the lead, and the rest of the field has begun to bunch up just as we expected them to do. The past few years we've seen the same phenomenon where in the opening laps the field will pack up 3 and 4 wide, many rows deep, and with such a large field this year it's going to be even more hazardous this time around. Jenny Jackson goes into the wall off the corner you saw there, that brightly colored 501 truck, but no further incident results from that. And we've got more 4 wide in the back with a couple of rookies in the middle. Kathy Gargolak goes into the wall on the outside, but again, everybody's going to keep everything relatively orderly here. Alex Raston in the 97 and Natasha Rodriguez in the 86 are making their first starts in this series. They, along with all of the other short track regulars in this field, are doing a very good job at keeping this speedway race relatively clean, at least for the time being. As Rachel Kowalczyk makes another move at Anderson for the lead, back at the front of the field, with a push from Mary Brousseau in the 25. The Canadian has never won a points race in this series, but is been very reliable with top 10 finishes, trying to get her first win here today. She's been one of the fastest trucks all weekend long, but she's got another challenger on the outside as John Bennett has come from 5th place at the beginning of the lap to take over 2nd on the outside. We're riding on board your defending Saar, Nebraska 100 winner here, coming into turn 1 right behind Archer Helms. He was running in 5th place and drives right by the 153 and keeps the momentum off the corner to get by the 25 and the 402. Bennett showing why he won this race last year. The 62-year-old has been one of the faster trucks this weekend, just like he was last year, and now he's only got Ron Anderson between himself and the lead of the race. Back in the field, we've got Jason Miller, another former winner of this race. He won the 2015 running of the Saar Nebraska 100. Miller started all the way back in 32nd, which is uncharacteristically poor for the Indiana native, and has not been able to work his way through the field thus far. Still stuck around the 30th spot for the time being. And your other former race winner, Daryl Quick, is slowly working his way to the front after starting in 14th. Quick, of course, won the very first running of this race, which of course was the first ever Super Trucks race, and is the only driver at this point to have ever won a championship in this series. He's won the past 3 in a row, but he won't be winning it this year. This is the only race of the season for the series champion, as he will be running in the Fark Low Dollar Series for Pearson Sweeney Motorsports for most of the season. Anderson continues to lead the way at the front of the field, but he has not been able to open up any ground over the drivers with whom he's been racing, and now John Bennett makes the move for the lead on the outside of the front straightaway. He's got a bit of help from Mary Brousseau behind him, and behind Anderson on the inside, that's the 53 truck of Scott Madigan, making his first start in the series and doing a very good job thus far. Through turns 1 and 2, Anderson is in the low line, which has not been the preferred line all weekend, but he has been strong in that corner no matter where he's placed his truck. And even though he's going to lose the lead to Bennett momentarily, he's not going to wait long to try and take it back. Coming back at the 58 down the front stretch, Anderson continuing to impress despite not being regular in this series. In fact, he doesn't race anywhere on a regular basis. Most of the drivers in the Voltson Super Trucks are obviously semi-professionals, but Anderson, I'd say it's more appropriate to consider him a hobbyist considering his level of experience. But I digress. Whatever he is fast. And Alex DeFranco has worked his way all the way up into the top 5, seemingly out of nowhere, and now here he goes for 2nd place on the inside of your defending race winner. DeFranco driving for the Midwest Motors team, which did not have a good debut season last year. They DNQ'd or wrecked seemingly every weekend with both of their trucks, and DeFranco clearly wants to turn that reputation around by going for the lead of the race here in Michigan on the outside of Ron Anderson at turn number 3, and he's got him cleared already. The 94 truck started this race from the 12th row, but has already worked his way to the front and is the first driver today who's been able to pass your pole sitter. I don't think many people had the 94 truck as a prediction to win the race today, but he is proving everyone wrong by running at the front. Anderson's not done facing challenges from other trucks either, as Michael McKinley now tries to make a run for 2nd place. McKinley, you may notice, is not running a Lycoias chassis this year. He's now racing a Saar, So that's a big change from years past. But what does not appear to have changed is the speed that that 99M truck shows on a weekly basis, as he is once again contending for the win here at MIS. A much bigger surprise in this front pack is this 09 truck of Honoko Kurosawa, the Japanese GT racer for EF5 Motorsports, trying to get into stock car racing with the help of EF5, running a few races in this series this year, and she has been very fast all weekend long. EF5 as a whole has been very fast right out of the gate in their first start here this weekend. Kurosawa's teammate Grant Edwards is trying to hang on to the back of this lead pack, and right behind him, Archer Helms and Mary Brousseau have fallen back a bit after starting at the front. Adam Ramirez right behind Brousseau in that 98 truck there, and right behind them are the Binford Racing Team trucks of Wilson Timothy and Brian Kelly. Amberly Weiss in that orange 75 truck there, also trying to work her way forward. Kelly and Weiss finished in the top 5 in this race last year, and have been having a much harder time this weekend finding the speed they need to run at the front, although they're slowly trying to work their way up there. Right behind them we have Alex Raston, Nancy Keith, and Legend Hart. Hart has fallen back a ways after starting from 6th, but Keith started this race from the second to last row on the grid. She wrecked in her heat race and had to get the truck repaired overnight, making their current run all the more impressive. As Michael McKinley goes for the lead now with a move to the inside of Alex DeFranco, we've got a couple of formation lines that have formed here in the lead pack, with McKinley, Anderson, and Quick teamed up on the inside, trying to battle DeFranco, Bennett, and Kurosawa on the high line. DeFranco gets the push down the backstretch and holds on to the lead, but he's got many challengers breathing right down his neck. And look at that, Kurosawa moving through the middle, splitting Bennett and McKinley to take over second place. And now the 09 trying to peek to the outside and go for the lead. Kurosawa, as I mentioned earlier, has experience in Japanese touring cars. That's about the last background that you'd expect a driver in this series to come from. But she doesn't seem to care, as she's adapted very well to the big speedway here this weekend, now going for the lead on Alex DeFranco, and holding station on the outside through turns 3 and 4. These two have momentarily opened up a bit of a gap over the rest of the lead pack behind them, but Daryl Quick and Michael McKinley are going to quickly close back in as they continue to run side by side for the top spot. Neither driver showing a willingness to give an inch, and Daryl Quick is not going to wait for either of them to do so, as he goes to the inside to make it 3 wide for the lead down the front stretch. A fantastic race being put on for the crowd at hand today, as they go 3 wide into turn 1. DeFranco has to check up in the middle, likewise with Quick on the inside, and Kurosawa takes over the lead. Some fierce persistence, hanging on to the outside lane for the better part of 3 laps, is going to reward Truck 09 with the top spot on the boards. Further back in the field, we have another road racing expert making her first start at MIS. This is Amy Robinson, driving a 3rd truck this weekend for Binford Racing Team. Robinson has raced at Nelson Ledges in this series for the past couple of seasons, making her first start at the big speedway here today and doing a respectable job considering her lack of experience. Just ahead of her, we have another driver making her first start at this track and her first start in the series. This is Tiffany Rogers, the new teammate to Legend Hart. And no, she is not related to the Rogers family that you're thinking of. Of course, the late Tiffany Matthews was born as Tiffany Rogers. But this Rogers, contact between her and Brianna Princehorn in turn 1. They're both very lucky that that did not turn into a huge accident. So good job at both of them to keep it under control. But as I was saying, this Tiffany Rogers, a 17-year-old driver from Indiana, doing a respectable job herself in her debut race. And back at the front, we've got another change for the lead as Daryl Quick has gone by Kurosawa on the inside of turns 1 and 2 and taken over the lead of the race with a big run off the corner. He's already opened up multiple car lengths on the 09. He made that look easy. But then again, that's about what you can expect from a 3-time series champion. Kurosawa nearly loses second place to Ron Anderson, but with a bit of help from Michael McKinley is going to hold him off for the time being. And looking down the track, we see Nick Moss in the 74 truck, not far from being lapped by Daryl Quick. The lack of cautions that we've had so far here today has not worked out well for Moss, who has been rather off the pace all weekend long, which is quite surprising considering the top 10 run that he had here last year. But he is going to be the first truck to go 1 lap down as Quick catches up to him. Kurosawa thought about making another move for the lead, but Quick pulled back ahead and the 09 falls back in line. Although now she and DeFranco going down the inside, down the backstretch and right behind Moss. I wonder if they're trying to use him as some sort of pick, but if that was the plan, it appears to have backfired on them, as Quick escapes with a much bigger lead than he had when he caught the 74. Not far behind the lead pack, we find Daniela Jacobson quietly having a very good race today. She broke away from the second pack and has slowly been reeling in the leaders as the race goes on. And back up in the main pack, we also have Nancy Keith as part of this lead group. We mentioned earlier how she started the race all the way back in the second to last row. Last year's runner-up in this event. Of course, she led most of the race last year, doing a very impressive job to be running where she is at this point. As Daryl Quick still holding a bit of a lead over Ron Anderson. Speaking of people who have done well in this race in years past, we already mentioned he will not be running any race in the series this year other than the one here today. But of course, he's going for the win. It's the only reason he's here this time around. But it looks as if his competition is beginning to file into line behind him. Perhaps they are preparing to work together and chase down the 82 for the lead before they all battle it out for the win. And Daniela Jacobson has caught up to this lead group, making it an 11-truck race for the victory, as we are now within 10 laps to go. Jacobson's teammate Amberly Weiss has not been able to work her way forward from the midfield, nor has Brian Kelly, with whom she's been racing for most of this event. And to make matters worse for Kelly, his engine's going to let go on him with only 9 laps to go. The 6-truck pulls to the inside and out of everybody's way with smoke billowing out the back. And last year's third-place finisher is going to come home in dead last today. And considering the sheer size of this field, we got a full 40 trucks here today. That's going to be a big hit to his championship efforts to start off the year. Big disappointment for Kelly, but we've got a race for the win back at the front, as Alex DeFranco has slowly closed in on Daryl Quick, and now here he comes to the inside for the lead down the front stretch. The 94 trying to take the win away from the 3-time series champion, and he's got him cleared through turn number 2, but Quick coming back on the high line just in time to keep DeFranco from blocking him off the corner. Quick having to give it everything he's got here to try and keep the 94 at bay, and the crowd is loving it. DeFranco really putting up a fight and punching well above his weight here today. Still side by side for the lead as we get closer to the white flag. DeFranco still on the inside through turns 1 and 2. We've mentioned that that line has not been working as well as the high line for most drivers, and Quick puts that to good use again, powering off the corner and taking back the lead. DeFranco's not done with him yet though, coming back to the inside the very next lap. This is a fierce battle for the win, the kind of racing we've come to expect from this track and this series in the past couple of years, but Quick holds him off yet again. And now DeFranco has more to deal with than just the 82. He's got competition from behind. Nancy Keith has worked her way around Michael McKinley and into the 3rd position. You see Ron Anderson and Honoko Kurosawa battling for 5th behind them. The 99M and the 18 managed to get around them both, while Quick and DeFranco were dueling for the lead. And now all of them are quickly running out of time to catch up to the 82, as Quick takes the white flag and begins the final lap of the race. Nancy Keith's going for 2nd place on DeFranco behind him though, moving to the inside of the 94 down the front stretch, and she's got him cleared before they even make it to turn 1. Keith now just 1 spot away from the victory, which she so narrowly lost last year, and she's got just 1 mile left to make it happen. Quick holds a lead of multiple car lengths into turn 3 for the final time, but Keith and DeFranco are closing fast. Here they come with a big run through turns 3 and 4. It's going to be a 3-truck race to the line. The 18 and the 94 trying to work together to close, but they're going to run out of time. Daryl Quick takes the victory in the Saar, Nebraska 100 for his 6th AST Voltson Super Trucks victory and 2nd in this race. He may only be showing up to 1 race this season, but appropriately enough, he takes the checkered flag, and in doing so also becomes the first Lycoia to win the Saar, Nebraska 100, despite this being his first race not behind the wheel of a Saar. Congratulations to Daryl Quick. Nancy Keith comes home 2nd for the 2nd year in a row, but this was a very, very impressive run for her today, not to be overlooked, coming back from a 38th starting position to finish in 2nd. Fantastic job to the 18 team, especially since that truck was wrecked less than 24 hours ago. Alex DeFranco finishes in 3rd after a fantastic race from the 94 team. By far the best of Midwest Motors' career. Hopefully this season will be a turnaround from last year. Michael McKinley finishes in 4th in his first race behind the wheel of a Saar, with Ron Anderson rounding out the top 5 after starting on the pole and leading several laps. Anderson should be very proud of his race here today. I'm sure that all of his friends and family in the stands are. Honoka Kurosawa, coming home in 6th, considering her lack of experience in stock cars and on ovals, that's a very impressive run for the Japanese driver. Scott Madigan finishes in 7th with Rachel Kowalczyk in 8th. Zach Churchill has a quiet run to finish in 9th, and Daniela Jacobson just manages to get around John Bennett to round out the top 10.